Yeah, go away. It appears that we're going to Yokai Watch one last time, for the time being at least. I enjoyed my time with the first game, but the second game really did fail to impress me. And a year after Yokai Watch 2 was released, they also released Psychic Specters, an expanded version. Once again, they stole another concept from Pokemon, but I guess I'll let it slide this time around. Again, I decided to get it because the post-game content in Yokai Watch 2 was pretty good, to be honest. So I'm going to be looking at Psychic Specters' new content while looking back at the post-game content in the original game as well. And let me tell you, this didn't warrant a $40 retail release. So in the normal versions of Yokai Watch 2, we do have the Infinite Inferno. This was also even in the first game, but I didn't bother mentioning it because it's not anything special. You can match harder versions of the regular bosses here, and there is a super boss waiting at the end, but it's really mediocre. Plus it requires too much grinding to even get on the same level as the bosses. And that's all the post-game content for Yokai Watch 2 I wanted to talk about. I guess we should move on to Psychic Specters. So, what do you get with your wasted, well-spent $40 on an expanded version of this game? Well, right off the bat, you can transfer your data to the new version. Wait, what? Don't get me wrong, that's good and all, but here's the thing. This introduces the big issue with Psychic Specters. The fact that this feels like DLC. See, I don't feel like I just paid $40 for a new game. I feel like I paid $40 for DLC, and that's an issue. We're gonna get into why later. Anyway, something I found out is that there were some additions to the main story of the game, but don't get your hopes up. It's just stuff such as changing up some cutscenes as well as adding in new ones. Also, there's this new character named Bronzo who appears alongside Kin and Gin. I'm unsure whether or not you fight him in the main story, because I did do a second playthrough of this game, but I did about 70% of it on my Fleshy Souls copy while transferring it to Psychic Specters later on. And surprisingly, they actually made Dame Demona's boss fight good. That's what I would be saying if that was possible. But you know, this is an expansion. It doesn't necessarily add to the main story. It adds to the post-game stuff. Let's check that out. So I guess we should get to the main selling point of this whole thing. Garrett Land, a new area. Why was this the big selling point? I don't know. Because Spilly, spoiler alert, it's not really that great. Alright, well here's the thing. They actually did make a train station that has this one unique train there that leads you there. And it's actually not terrible. You can fight the yokai on there, or you can just get off immediately. There's even a boss, the conductor, Head of Steam. This is a really good boss. Every time you attack him, one of his 2 meters will fill up. And whenever one of those meters is filled up enough, he'll be able to get a certain stat boost from them. So you constantly have to shoot pins at these little valves or whatever, so that you can prevent him from doing that. Oh man, it just keeps you so active. It's a fun fight. Unfortunately, I wish I could say the same about Garrett Land itself. There's not much here. There also is a side plot here where this yokai known as Kabuki wants to set up a play, but I guess the theater staff don't care about their jobs. But you do have to go and explore Garrett Land, but here's the thing. One of the areas is just a stealth mission. Oh, okay, is this some sort of joke? I swear. See, the only area worth revisiting out of all of these is the Paradise Springs. I absolutely love the Japanese music here, and also it makes for a perfect grinding spot. Finally, they incorporate one of these things. Finally, once you get all of that done with, which doesn't take too long, you can fight Kabuki in the theater. Level 99. Nay, I don't think I will do that. I mean, the play isn't even rigged. What's your plan? I mean, I could grind for the rest of my life, but I don't really feel like doing that. I wasn't able to beat Kabuki. He's so tough that he will make you utter the same words that my parents said whenever I was first born. This was a mistake. Another major selling point for this game was more backstories. There was a whole segment dedicated to just Jibanyan's past. I feel like it was very well handled and stuff, so I was completely fine with them adding in more backstories, such as Whispers. Yep, Whisper has a lot to work with, nothing that they're just going to throw together. Oh, I'm sorry, but did anyone actually care about Whisper's backstory? And I'm talking about that on a developer and a consumer standpoint. Okay, so Kinnigan are revived by Bronzo, and they send Jibanyan and Whisper back to the feudal Japan era. It is revealed that Whisper actually used to be the butler of a great king. However, like other yokai, Whisper had a inspiritment. His inspirament is whenever he'd sneeze on people and they would utter nonsense. In fact, I get the feeling that he's about to inspirit me. This story is good. Unlike the other backstories, this is separated into 3 different quests. This got tedious real fast, and I zoned out. I, in all honesty, just can't stand this story right here. It's so uninteresting. And Dame Dead Time gets a backstory too. And I like how this one's handled in comparison to Whisper and Jibanyan's stories. She just tells you how it goes. Which I think is fine since her backstory was also already revealed in a bio. But essentially, Dame Dead Time got locked up in prison because of something she didn't do. And she had to sit there rotting her life away. That explains why she wants to take away everything from humans. It's also an explanation as to how the wicked yokai were formed out of malice and stuff. You even had to go back to the Japan era and do something for Dame Dead Time. I forgot what it was, but once you come back, another battle of Kin again. Oh, and Bronzo. And now that Dame Dead Time is happy again, she transforms into... I hate to say it, but she looks worse. Oh, and also, now you can befriend wicked yokai. You can either get some wicked parts and fuse them with a classic yokai to make one of those possessed yokai, which I wouldn't bother with since they're just kind of reskins with a new tribe, which I wouldn't bother with considering the fact that the wicked yokai don't get a tribe bonus. And don't worry, there's a much better, and might I add, there's a much better and much smarter way of getting wicked yokai. Befriending the executive. They're strong and they don't necessarily need to rely on tribe bonuses. The last thing I'm going to be looking at today is something that was also in the original 2 games, but guess what? That video ended up being way too long and I didn't get to talk about it. It was a mode known as Yokai Watch Blasters. Unfortunately, it did get an upgrade in Psychic Specters called Psychic Blasters, so yes, I do have an excuse to talk about it. Basically, you play as one of your yokai that you have, and all of them have different attacks and stuff, such as draining HP or using a long-range fire attack and stuff. You explore a terror time with all sorts of bosses and stuff, and you can choose to fight them, but your main goal is to survive, collect Oni orbs for prizes, and escape whenever the door appears. The bosses are hard to take down, but if you do manage to take them down, then you get some more Oni orbs, and you get the Crankakai at the end. I actually quite like this mode. The only issue is that there are more stages with different bosses. The big thing is that you have to grind for orbs to unlock some of these stages. Certain conditions need to be met so that you can actually get to these stages. One of them involves you fighting Gargaros 30 times. I mean, yeah, fortunately after that, it's pretty smooth sailing from there until you get to he knows all. Oh my pet ostrich's lamp. This boss is stupid. For those of you who are unaware, this is the creator of Yokai Watch, and he wants to turn your anus inside out. Sure, he'll punch you in the face, he'll summon yokai to act as his companions, and also, he likes spamming laser beam. Most of these laser beam attacks don't bother me that much, except for the one that has smaller laser beams chasing you. Okay, so you want to do a lot of damage against this boss, so you're going to be using your strong attack, but you can only use your strong attack at a standstill. However, while you're standing still, all of those mini laser beams can stack on top of you and kill you at once. But the part of the battle that crushes my balls the most is his healing attack. Once he gets below half health, he'll spam this attack. Guess what this attack does? It fully heals him. The only way to stop this attack is by hitting him with a strong attack or using an item. Problem is, not all strong attacks make him flinch. This is one of the most incredibly stupid boss fights out there, and guess what? He has the audacity in his bio to call himself a legend, a god among all yokai of creativity. Yeah, calling yourself creative. This is the same person who copied the same thing that Pokemon did. And that's Yokai Watch 2 Psychic Specters. I, of course, didn't talk about everything, I don't have all day, but I talked about the main selling points. I wouldn't call it a bad investment. If you like the post-game content in Yokai Watch 2, then I could say that it's a half-decent one. I mean, $40 is way too much for this game. I really think that this should have been like $15 DLC on the eShop or something. Something I never made clear was, I don't despise Yokai Watch 2. It's a game I kind of like, but have no respect for whatsoever. All these sequels did was add more to the post-game and stuff, whenever they should have just been fixing problems to make a more enjoyable story mode. Yokai Watch 2 as a whole isn't a terrible game, but it's one that I was very disappointed with. As for the series as a whole, I'm pretty sure at this E3 that they're going to announce Yokai Watch 3 for America. I'm not so sure about that. I can't be entirely certain due to the fact that the 3DS is near its end, but a part of me has a lot of hope for Yokai Watch 3. This is 2 days before Nintendo's E3, and you know, I kinda do hope that Yokai Watch 3 gets released here sometime soon at least. Maybe, just maybe, in the next few months, or maybe next year, I'll be playing Yokai Watch 3. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I'll hate it, but one thing's for certain, if I do get to play it, I'm going to review it for you guys, and come back to Yokai Watch for a little bit. Well, for those of you who watched this marathon thing, thank you very much for tolerating my voice. I hope we get to come back to this series soon enough.